Hi guys, we are going to be painting a Mystic Blue Forest today, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna try to get through this quickly because I'm very uncomfortable sitting in this chair. This is the 6th tutorial today, or within the last 12 hours at least, and my legs are tingling for some reason, so not ideal. Anyway, we're creating our blue background. So I'm starting with like a very pigmented baby blue, and then I'm going to pick up some white and gradually try to fade it out. Unfortunately, I don't know why I keep doing, because now it's green down here. I reuse tape because it's already like stuck into that perfect square shape, and so I reuse it for my paintings, but there's frequently stuff on the tape, like paint on the tape, that does not match my current color scheme on the current painting, and it comes off and creates problems for me, which is my own fault. I shouldn't be complaining. Said I should do something about it. But we're trying to create a gradient here of like blue going into almost white. And I'm trying to kind of achieve the right balance here of my colors. So something like that will probably be okay. I just don't want to pile on too much color because we are going to be using the wet and wet technique, and if it's too wet, then this isn't going to work for us. So I am going to grab my mop brush and just gently lift off that extra paint. I don't know, I think that's gonna dry to be way too light. So back on it goes. And then I'm gonna pick up that white again. Okay. Alrighty, so we have to add stuff to this before this dries, but I'm just nervous that it's way too wet to add stuff. But I'm going to try nonetheless. So I'm going to take the baby blue that we used for the top there. I'm going to water it down and start painting trees. And the intention is for them to fade into the background. And you can use different shades of blue as well, or different kinds of blue. But the point is you want these to fade into the background. That is the intention here. So I've added a little bit of black to one of my blues so that I can, so that you can see the branches in this top portion as well. So I think that should be good for now in terms of the amount that is here, because you don't want to overwhelm the background with the tree trunks. I do kind of want to add very thin branches, but I don't think they'll show through. Oh, maybe a little bit. I have to use the darkest blue that I had though. Okay, so we're gonna let those kind of fade out, do their thing before, and dry before we move on to the next layer. So this should be mostly dry now. And so I'm going to try painting some trees over top. Yeah, so they're showing through a lot better now. So you can add different shades or different hues. The last layer eventually will be black, so just keep that in mind. Like maybe you don't want to overcrowd things too much. But I am gonna switch to my quadruple zero and add some more of those really fine branches because I think they add a little bit of spookiness to the painting when there's these thin wiry branches coming out in different places. And you can even add some foliage if you want. I don't know if I am necessarily tempted enough to do that, because I'm always nervous about it ruining my painting. I'm not great with foliage, like treetop foliage. That's slowly coming together. So let's see, let's attempt to add some foliage. So I'm using my size 1, and I don't have, like, I want it to be a little dry when I do this. I already don't like it. Nope, I'm already stopping. Never mind. Ignore that. So we're gonna switch to black now. You can mix in some blue if you want, or you can just use pure black. I am mixing in some blue, and we're gonna paint some trees over top. So we're gonna have this like thing here. In fact, maybe we should paint that first. Nah, we're gonna paint the trees first. So I'm gonna have a tree kind of growing like this. I have to keep reloading my paintbrush, so feel free to use a larger paintbrush. That'll do the job a little bit better. Like, use the tool for the job. I'm gonna switch to size 8 because this is starting to get a little annoying. And these should have foliage. I just really don't want to because I'm not greatest at abstract foliage. See, I really don't like how that looks. The key, I think, it looks better for me when I dry my brush on a paper towel or a tissue paper and then just kind of dab it on like that, because when you have too much pigment on your brush, it comes out in a blob rather than these individual like leaf-like shapes, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm gonna paint another tree set over here. Okay, so I'm switching to a thinner brush here to have be able to paint some smaller features. Actually, I'm going even smaller to my size quadruple 0 to paint those little wiry tree branches that I was mentioning earlier. Okay, so I need to paint that little foreground thing at the bottom here. So I'm switching to my size 8. And I'm going to pick up some blue. I want to start off with it being pretty watered down. So, okay, to make this look a little bit more natural, we're going to add some little grassy details coming from the darkest tree trunks, I would say. That makes the most sense. Because right now it kind of looks, it doesn't look as natural as I would like it to look. So I've taken my smallest or my thinnest brush, my quad 0, and I am just adding those grassy details to the base of some of the foreground trees, like the darkest ones. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry, and then we're gonna do 1 or 2 more things that are hopefully going to complete this painting. So it's a little bit drier now. I'm going over some of the grassy patches again, because it was still wet. I was kind of doing wet on wet before. And I wanted to find some of those grassy pieces a little bit better. And the last thing that I think will make this look mystical and pretty is if we take yellow, and you're welcome to use acrylic paint if your yellow is not opaque enough for this step. In fact, I am mixing white with my yellow, both watercolor because they're quite opaque. And we're adding these yellow or white circles. So some of them can overlap a tree so that they're more visible. And concentrate it more maybe towards the bottom of your piece of paper, of your painting. And you can, you know, vary up the size a little bit, make some of them smaller, some of them bigger. And I'm kind of tempted to do one of these. I need to add a bit more water to that to make it even more mystical. So it kind of looks like there's little fireflies everywhere. And I have concentrated it kind of in this corner. You don't have to do that. But I quite like how that looks. And I'm tempted just to take pure white watercolor and add that kind of in the middle of them to brighten them up just a tad. But I think that's it. I think I'm happy with this. So you can peel your tape off when you're finished. Hopefully you will have done a better job than I did taping it. And we are all finished. I hope you guys enjoyed this mystical painting. Let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.